everybody, Goosebumps for Dummies here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Attack of the Mutants, the TV episode from the 90s. This is a Season 2 episode, as one of the very first of the season, and is a two-parter, so it is 44 minutes instead of 22, or whatever the time is, but it's like 40-something minutes. This is based off the book of the same name, which actually spawned a video game titled Attack the Mutant. Who would have guessed? And also a very iconic character, the Masked Mutant himself. If you're wondering why I'm wearing glasses, it's basically winter wonderland outside today. We got a whole foot of snow last night, and it is still going on strong. So, it's kind of blinding. My window is always right fucking there, and it's pitch white. We're going to be reviewing the Attack of the Mutant TV episode, and I don't know if it's going to be a hot take, a take in general, and I got a take. I've heard mixed things about this episode. Of course, I have already seen it plenty of times, so rewatching it, I have noticed a few things, whether positive or negative, and I've got a lot of thoughts, so let's just dive in. And now for the synopsis, which thank God I actually have a DVD to read off this time. Let's go! I have to take these off, though. Attack of the Mutant, Part 1 and 2, because this is a two-parter. Skipper Matthews has an awesome comic book collection. His favorite is The Masked Mutant, the story of an evil, power-mad supervillain who is out to gain control of the universe. One day, while lost in a strange part of town, Skipper discovers a building that mysteriously resembles the Mutants' secret headquarters, a building that magically disappears. And yeah, it leaves it pretty vague, which I like. Now, how do I feel in this episode? Can you read my eyes? Can you? I actually really like this one. I have always had a pretty strong take on this one, whether positive or negative. And I think I've had many mixed feelings on it over the years, but I'm generally really liking this episode. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah, I don't know if that's a hot take or not, because I've heard people say they don't like this episode, they think it sucks, or they think it's mid, or even great. I'm kind of in the great territory. So, let's get into why. A huge thing carrying this episode is the characters and the actors and actresses portraying them. Specifically, Skipper's parents and the Galloping Gazelle, plus the mutants. We'll talk about Livy later. And Skipper himself, too. I really like Skipper's actor. I think he did a great job conveying the role. And his parents were very, very funny in their own ways. They're way over the top. They're basically what you expect from sitcom parents type shit. It's funny. I think they did a great job, the two actors. And yeah, there's just really nice little additions in here. Some great moments in the episode are just, again, very comedic. And back to the Masked Mutant and the Galloping Gazelle. Very interesting. I want to preface what I'm about to say for the Galloping Gazelle by saying I don't know who the fuck Adam West is. I've never seen the Batman movies, and that's all I know is I believe he's apparently Batman. Or played a version of Batman. Rest in peace, dude. I don't know anything about Adam West, so I don't have any nostalgia blinding me or celebrity status blinding me. So I'm just going to say that much. I really like the Galloping Gazelle. I think they were a very funny addition. And whilst it's very obvious that they were kind of given so much screen time as they were, they got like a whole 4, almost 5 minutes just saying random shit to Skipper because of their celebrity status, which again, I don't even know what the fuck they are, besides their name and that they're Batman apparently. But no, it's like, I really liked them. I thought they were a very funny addition that also made way for a really interesting climax where Skipper was kind of put into the situation as the one who's going to resolve it. Whereas he wasn't hiding behind the Galloping Gazelle, who's apparently a wussy bitch. I found that really funny. Yeah, and the Masked Mutant himself, holy crap, dude. I think the actor who portrayed him did a phenomenal job. Just seriously one of the funnest parts of this episode, as you would expect after it's named after him. The Masked Mutant, Attack the Mutant. So yeah, really good stuff. I think all the characters are really good, minus Livy, we'll get to her later. And there's even a friend character Skipper talks to, who's a nice little addition to add some more comedy to this. And yeah, this is one of the more comical Goosebumps episodes, I would argue. On to other stuff. The soundtrack. Goosebumps always has a good soundtrack, and this is no different. I think there's a very solid score behind this, which I really enjoyed. There are some overused sound cues, but it doesn't bother me too much. And I generally still had a really good time just listening to this episode. Yeah, there's also some really good set design. There's some times, which I'll talk about in a minute still, where it doesn't look the best because it's like green screen and it's dated shit. But when it looks good, it looks good. I think the industrial feel of the climax setting, as well as the weird, trippy, and almost dreamlike liminal feel of basically everything before that, perfect. Absolutely love the look of the headquarters, even from the outside and the inside, as well as what it does to Skipper. The actual plot of this episode, I think, is really interesting, and I quite enjoyed seeing how it played out, with Skipper halfway through getting kind of zapped and slowly turning to a comic book character. This is a spoiler review, duh. I imagine everyone's seen this episode. But yeah, I really liked that plot. I think it was very well conveyed, and it led into a very, very good and hilarious and stupid ending, which is kind of a happy one, where Skipper becomes a superhero. I won't say much more. Great ending, love it, iconic as shit, and actually was really well animated somehow, for once. Yeah, really good shit. But no, I think the plot of this episode was amazing, really engaging, and just overall super fun. I had a really good time this episode, with some mild things holding it back. As I unsubtly alluded to earlier, Livy's actress didn't do a great job, and I do have a small thing to say about it, outside of they didn't do a good job, so it kind of deducts. I think it's kind of intentional, because obviously if you've seen the episode, you know the twist with Livy being the mutant. The mutant was basically right next to Skipper the whole fucking episode, which I found really cool in the book and the episode, you know, when that twist came about. I believe it was the same in the book. Yeah, really good stuff. A good twist, but again, Livy just didn't do a good job, and I don't know if that's because she was the mutant, that was a whole intentional thing, or because her actress just wasn't a very good actress at the time. Again, child actors, I don't take it too harshly, not really deducting much for that, but still, it is what it is. There's also the pacing and the effects of this episode. There are times when stuff just doesn't look good, and that's just a product of its time. It's bad green screen, mostly referring to, and also a bit ugly CGI and stuff like that. There are things that look great in this episode, but there's also a good few things that don't. That's all I'm saying. And there's also, again, the pacing. I think it gets much better in the second half of this episode, you know, part 2, I guess, the second episode in this two-parter. But the first one, it takes kind of a bit too long to really get shit going. And whilst it's still a fun ride all the way through with a really solid mystery of what the hell is going on, it's like, I think it could have been a little bit faster. But even still, I kind of don't mind it too much, but it's definitely another bothering thing. So yeah, let's get to my score. I'm going to give Attack the Mutants episode an 8.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's a very solid watch, and whilst there's some flaws with it, it's super fun, and I think the second half of it is basically almost S-tier Goosebumps, where it comes to being pretty funny, extremely enjoyable, while also conveying some crazy shit with its twists, which there's plenty actually, and revelations and all that stuff. And again, amazing climax and ending. Really, just absolutely nailed it with that tone as well. So yeah, really good watch. On the fright meter, though, I'm going to give it a 1.5. I do think there's some spookier scenes. Some stuff did kind of scare me, like when the mutant gets melted. Not the first frame of that, but like when it's just fully melted and the mask is lying in basically like a little pool. It's gross, dude. That's kind of, you know, scary and shocking. And there's some other things in here that are like, damn, that's kind of unnerving as crap. However, it's not very scary, and there's a lot of comedy to really balance it out with Skipper's parents and the Galloping Gazelle and even the mutant. I think it's really not that scary at all, but that doesn't say anything about its quality. It's just not a very scary episode. And of course, Shrunky approved. This is a very good watch, and I highly recommend checking it out if you like the original book and you want a slightly different take on it, because it does cut some things and change some things, which I found to be interesting. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode review. Tell me what you think about Attack the Mutant down below the episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.